Hello everyone, welcome back to Starlight News. Today we have a great episode for you. This week, since the 8th graders get to choose their pathway, we have 3 seniors to give you a little bit more information and help you make your decision. And we have a senior who has a Black History Month bullet journal spread that we want to share with you. And like always, we have our Woman of the Week. So let's get started by learning about pathways.
For those of you who aren't in a pathway yet, pathways are a class that you take throughout high school at Ann Richards. We have 3 different pathways: biomed, engineering, and media tech. And when you're in 8th grade, you get to choose which pathway you want to take. Pathways are super cool, and now we have some of our high school seniors to talk about their favorite parts of their pathway.
Hey everyone, my name's Jennifer Pinkham. I'm currently a senior in the biomed pathway. Growing up, I always knew I wanted to pursue a career in the medical field from the time I was like 4. So for me, choosing biomed was a really easy decision, but I don't think I really realized that it was a great fit for me until I think second semester freshman year. We had a day where we were doing a dissection. I can't really remember if it was a cow heart or a sheep heart, but it was a heart of some sort. And just being so intrigued and just so interested in the whole entire process. And I remember one of my classmates taking a video of me doing the dissection and then showing my other friends who were in media tech and engineering and them just being completely grossed out. Well, I just thought it was like the greatest thing ever, and I just knew at that moment like this was going to be the right choice for me.
Hi, my name is Alexa Minchaca and I'm a senior in the engineering pathway. One of the key moments in my high school career where I figured out that I want to pursue engineering as a career was my junior year, pre-COVID times of course, when our school got invited to go to Aggies Invent Junior at Texas A&M. And it was 4 of us juniors and we got to go, and it was a bunch of other high schools that came together, and basically they gave us real world problems and they were just like, you have to choose one of them. You have to, pair up with like these other students that we don't know, and you have to come up with a solution in 48 hours and basically present to us your solution at the end of it. And it was kind of like a competition as well, but it was still fun. And the moment of coming up with an idea, developing it, and doing it in like 48 hours and like meeting new people, and it was just a whole experience. And those 48 hours in real life actually take longer. And to me, I was just like, this is the process that I want to do for the rest of my life, or like this is just the process that I feel like engineering can get me to. And it really was just a key moment where I realized I'm going to become an engineer. I want to become an engineer because I think this is cool and I like this. And
hi, I'm Maya, and I'm going to be talking about the media tech pathway. I'm going to be answering some quick questions too to see if media tech is the pathway for you. So the moment that I knew media tech was the choice for me, I would say is actually every single time that we have a finished product, even up to now. By that, I mean is if whether it's a film, a documentary, an animation, any of that, you have your pre-production first, which consists of like script writing, shot lists, animating, shooting and editing. Getting your finished product, finally exporting it and watching it, it feels really rewarding because if you think about all the hard work that you did, it all paid off. And I would say that's when I knew media tech is it. It was right for me.
One of the most prominent projects in my entire career with biomed has been the Cornerstone project, which is a really well-known project that we do our sophomore year. It's a semester long. It's your second semester. You do an entire research paper and just building models, all dedicated to helping alleviate or cure or potentially cure, anything related to a disease using nanotechnology. And it just honestly, it was difficult and frustrating at times, just as many projects are, but it gave me so many new perspectives and new skills that I never knew I would need. And it was overall just a really amazing experience to learn all of these new things and just be really dedicated and focused and just have an experience not many other high school students can say they had. But it also made me realize that biomed is actually an extremely diverse pathway. I think a lot of people get in over their heads thinking that, it's like Grey's Anatomy or something. It's just a bunch of surgery and stuff like that. But it's really not anything like that at all. And you can really branch out into so many different things. I remember in freshman year, we did some stuff related to forensics. We also have done a lot of lab work and just also nanotechnology was a big part. And obviously when internships come into play, that's like a whole nother field that gives you diverse options to kind of deal with. For me, for example, I helped with the pharmacy and nurses at UT Dell Medical Center. And so there was just so many different aspects of biomed that you can look into and that you can, research, and you can kind of get a feel for different things, because I think a lot of people feel like they have a set opinion of what they want to do in biomed or in their future, but actually you may come across something new that you never really realized and then end up having an extreme passion for it. And honestly, I can say with all the memories that I've made and all of the fun I've had over the years, regardless of like the hard work or, any struggles, I think I really know I made the right decision. And if anyone's considering it, I would definitely recommend biomed being one of your top choices if that's something that you like.
Definitely by far one of my favorite projects, not because it was like, oh my god, I want to do it again, I might want to, but because I really felt challenged, and I really felt like the way it was formed really helped me grow to understand what engineering was, and like the process of the engineering process was Cornerstone. Cornerstone is a project for engineering and all the other pathways, but specifically for engineering, they gave you brainstorm ideas to solve some kind of problem out in the world, and you kind of narrow it down to maybe it being like worldwide or like just in your community. And basically from there you're paired up with a group, you know what your project's going to be. But the challenging part is because you're still kind of new to like the whole concepts of what engineering is, and how things kind of work together, and like specifically a finished product. You have to have an electrical component, a mechanical component, and a automated self-moving component. And putting all of those things together, definitely I feel like it helped me grow as a person, to understand what the engineering process is like and like the challenge that go with it. So definitely going through that will be one of my favorite experiences, because I felt like I grew so much as a person and as a person who understands what engineering is.
Lastly, my favorite project is actually a small personal project. By that, I mean we went to California through Media Tech because we were exploring different colleges, different universities, as well as different studios like Nickelodeon, Warner Brothers, Disney, that kind of stuff. I decided to put some of those skills that I have learned in Media Tech to use to try to test myself to see what I was capable of. So I took some small clips of everything I was doing, kind of like vlogging per se, and I decided to make a small edit of that when I got home. And I, in fact, really enjoyed making that edit. I'm really proud of how it came up. I would say that's my favorite project, because that just goes to show that it doesn't matter which pathway you decide to choose, whether it's biomed, media tech, engineering, any of that. The skills that you learn from those pathways are really beneficial, and you can utilize them for your own things too. Of course, it's very important for career building too, making connections through internships, that kind of stuff. But it just feels good that you're growing some knowledge in that area. So yeah, if I could leave you with anything when it comes to media tech, if you're someone who likes to express themselves creatively, put things into the world, create film, create animations, design, that kind of stuff, I really recommend doing Media Tech. Even now, Media Tech has helped me personally branch out to different places. I managed to do Gross Who Code during the summer. We did the internship. I've created some small video edits for my job, which they really like. So that just goes back to the skill building and the character building. It's just really cool to know that the pathway that you're in is genuinely helping you in your area of study that you want to do.
Now, we wanted to highlight one of our seniors, Anissa, who has been working on a bullet journal and has a spread for Black History Month. Here she is explaining her spread.
Hi, I'm Anissa Adams. I want to first start off by saying Happy Black History Month. I am half African American and half Mexican American, so this month is really important to me. When I was little, I was given the book, What Colors My World? The Lost History of African American Inventors. When I first received this book, I spent weeks writing down notes about all of the amazing inventors. I used this book for presentations for Black Student Union, along with other things that needed research. But fast forward almost 10 years down the line, the book didn't hold every African American inventor. This past year, I became curious on things we created and how to share it with people. Quick change of subject. Many of you might know, but I love to bullet journal. A bullet journal is a personal, customizable, handmade journal that you make to suit your own individual needs. I scrapbook, write down my agenda, set goals, and write down memories all in my bullet journal. I'm also a part of the bullet journal Instagram community, and this is where I first thought to inform people about our inventions. But I didn't want to just limit it to inventions, so I opened it up to lost inventors, pioneers, and lesser-known figures. At first, I didn't get a very big response. A few of my mutuals loved the idea and joined, and after a day, my idea had spread really far. A collective Black journalist Instagram page with thousands of followers actually reached out to me and asked if they could help spread my collaboration idea. And of course I said yes. My collab not only informed people in my small little following, but informed people all over the world, and that's something I'm really proud of. Here are some pictures of my mutual spreads, and if you'd like to see more, you can search for them in the hashtag BlackandBujoBHM for more information on Black inventors, pioneers, and figures. Thank you.
This week's Woman of the Week is someone who is an educator, civil rights activist, womanist, and trailblazer on Black and women issues. She is also known for being the first lady of the struggle. Can you guess who she is?
She carried a cane, not because she needed one, but because it gave her swank. This is a testament to the power that Mary Mccloyd Bethune held. Bethune came from humble beginnings. Born on a farm in Maysville, South Carolina on July 10, 1875, as the 15th of the 17 children born to 2 former slaves. She studied at the Scotia Seminary in North Carolina and at Chicago's Moody Bible Institute in hopes of working as a missionary in Africa, but was then told that Black missionaries were not allowed. She was a tireless advocate for African Americans and women and created many opportunities for them by opening schools and organizations such as the National Council of Negro Women. She taught people from her own home as a founder of the Daytona Literary and Industrial Training School for Negro girls with $1.50 and 6 students. 20 years later, it merged with the Cookman Institute. In 1924, she became the president of the National Association of Colored Women, and in 1935, in order to mobilize and unite a multitude of organizations serving Black women, she founded the National Council of Negro Women.
According to the National Women's History Museum, Bethune also played a role in the transition of Black voters from the Republican Party to the Democratic Party during the Great Depression. A friend of Eleanor Roosevelt in 1936, Bethune became the highest-ranking African-American woman in government when FDR named her Director of Negro Affairs of the National Youth Administration, where she remained until 1944. She was also leader of FDR's unofficial Black cabinet. In 1937, Bethune organized a conference on the problems of the Negro and Negro youth and fought to end discrimination and lynching. In 1940, she became vice president of the NAACP, a position she held for the rest of her life. As a member of the advisory board in 1942, she created the Women's Army Corps and ensured it was racially integrated. Appointed by President Harry S. Truman, Bethune was the only woman of color at the founding conference of the United Nations in 1945. She died on May 18, 1955. Now we leave you with a quote from Bethune. "We have a powerful potential in our youth, and we must have the courage to change old ideas and practices so that we may direct their power toward good ends."
Thank you so much for joining us on another episode of Starlight News. Before we go, we wanted to give a huge shout out to the swim team who made history at their last meet when they advanced to the Constellation Heat and won the heat. Go Starfish! Also, we wanted to remind you again of our February Random Act of Kindness Challenge. Check out our Instagram for more information and look for an email from Ms. DeCuffa on where to submit. We hope you have a great week and we'll see you next time.